My girlfriend told me she was pregnant, so I had arranged to move all her stuff out behind her back. I've known I wanted to be child-free since my early teens. My parents didn't oppose me, but they did say I could change my mind. Since I'm not an only child, they'll still get grandchildren. When I was 20, I got a vasectomy. When I was 22, I met my girlfriend. I've been open about wanting to be child-free from the very beginning. I remember telling her about my vasectomy, but to be honest, I think there was already alcohol involved. So I'm not sure if she remembers. We were dating for a year and a half when she moved in with me. I'm now 25. 2 weeks ago, I got home from work, and my girlfriend was standing in the living room smiling. She showed me the positive pregnancy test. Thinking it was a TikTok prank, I played along. When she didn't reveal it was a prank, I knew what had happened, but I continued playing along. That night, I got up at midnight and started sending emails. I took a week off work and emailed my best friends the details, telling them to pretend they knew nothing and be prepared. The next morning, I left for work as usual, but I didn't go to work. Carl, one of my friends, was waiting outside. He had a cap and a hoodie ready for me. The whole week, we followed Katie, and on day 3, she met up with her affair partner. We followed them to a motel and then Carl followed him to his home. The guy was married with kids. We devised a plan. I convinced Katie to go to her parents' house to tell them the good news last Saturday. While there, I gave my friends the keys to my home. At Katie's parents' house, we had lunch with the parents and siblings first, and then Katie told them the good news. Everyone was happy. After a while, I got a call I had to take. It was my friends telling me they were done and ready. So I asked to make an announcement. I pulled Katie aside in front of everyone. I bet they thought I was going to propose. I started by telling how we met, how much she meant to me, and ended with, and that's why it hurt so much that you cheated on me and got pregnant by someone else. The room was silent. Katie looked shocked. She started telling me it wasn't a funny joke. I said I'm not joking. The moment you told me you were pregnant, I knew you cheated. I got a vasectomy 5 years ago, and I go to checkups every year. So if you're pregnant, you have cheated. At that moment, her phone rang. I told her to answer it. It was probably of a fair partner name. You know, the real father of your baby. Probably wants to talk about you moving in. Not sure if his wife and kids are going to like that. What happened was that my friends had loaded up everything of Katie's in a U-Haul and brought it to her affair partner house. When they called me, they were in front of his house for the final part. They rang the doorbell and asked the affair partner where they could put her things. He was confused, and they handed him and his wife a folder with pictures of him and Katie. And Carl said, since OP is kicking her out, she needs a place to stay. We're just here delivering her things. And since you don't want the woman who is pregnant with your child to stay on the street, we assumed you would take her in. The affair partner called Katie yelling that she ruined his life and he never wants to see her again. After hearing him scream over the phone, I said, wow, so his wife doesn't want his mistress and their affair baby living there. So you'll have to stay here with your parents. With that, I walked away, leaving a crying Katie and her confused and angry family behind. My friends brought the U-Haul with her stuff to her parents' house after the affair partner refused to accept it. I went home where my sister was waiting for me. She knew everything. This was not part of my plan, but Carl knows me so well. I broke down and cried in my sister's arms. She stayed the weekend taking care of me, allowing me to grieve and process the betrayal. Update. It's been a week since I dumped Katie at her parents' house. My boys cleaned out my home and brought everything of Katie's to her parents. But because I didn't have time to mark everything that was Katie's, the boys didn't take everything that belonged to her. And they even took some things of mine. So I called her sister to arrange a meeting to exchange our belongings. The sister agreed under one condition, a sit-down with Katie to hear her out. I would have just left everything there, but the tablet had some pretty important work stuff, so I agreed to hear Katie out. But I made it very clear that there was no chance of us getting back together. Katie was a shadow of her former self. She started with small talk, but I quickly told her I wasn't there for that. She wanted to apologize. Here is where I almost lost it. I wanted to yell at her for destroying our relationship. I wanted to yell that I can't accept a simple apology for destroying my trust. But I didn't yell. I was quiet. I didn't accept the apology, I also didn't reject the apology. I just said nothing. She asked why I never asked why she did it. I said there was nothing she could say to justify what she did. So it didn't matter which excuse she came up with. She said she really thought the child was mine because we weren't using protection, vasectomy with yearly checkups. And she was hoping that I would change my mind about being child-free as soon as I saw that she was pregnant. I told her that was a very dumb assumption and she clearly did not use any protection with her affair partner. She told me she thought it was unfair of me to expose the affair to her family. I didn't have to do that. My response was, that's right, I didn't have to. I chose to. Just like you chose to cheat on me, just like affair partner chose to cheat on his wife. These are just the consequences of those choices. She asked me if we still had a chance if she aborted the baby. I told her keeping or aborting the baby wouldn't change her betrayal. She can do what she wants, we are not getting back together. I was done, I heard her out, she didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. So I got up and took my stuff and was about to leave when she said, I love you. My response was, no you don't. If you loved me, you would never have betrayed and hurt me like you did. I loved you, but you destroyed that too. With that, I left, and I could hear her sobbing. I've also learned that the affair partner is kicked out of his house. They are divorcing. He ended it with Katie because he blames her for ruining his life. I don't know what Katie is going to do with the baby, but it's not my problem.